you know, we could be obsessed with the struggle, we could be obsessed with the grind of it all, and at a certain point you have to realize that you're literally choosing the struggle. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the Magic Mirror. If this is your first time seeing a video by me, make sure you catch up with my 2025 content. That's all brand new here on YouTube. And if you want more from the past, make sure you check out my TikTok, my Facebook, and my Tumblr. Here's 2 updates. I recreated another booking site. Okay, this is my 3rd one. The first one was on my website that I decided was just gonna be for my creative things, and then I tried to remake the booking site, and when I went on my hiatus, the booking site just disappeared. So I don't know, maybe apparently I had to pay something or whatever, so they just deleted the whole site. So anyway, I have a booking site up. The link is in the bio. So if you ever watch a message and you need help applying maybe some things that I'm talking about to yourself, to your life, to your journey, if you're wondering how the astrological events that I'm unpacking here affect you personally, you can always have a personal message. Booking a service with me is one of the best ways that you can support me verbatim. Of course, I love the likes and the views and everything, but contrary to what it may seem, people like my content and they want me to keep making it, but they're not really supporting it. And I just feel like I'm one of those people that nobody's gonna support me until everybody supports me, type of thing, you know. And that's because most of the people in the world are followers. So if you don't want to be a follower, if you want to be a leader, make sure you're one of the first people to tap into that booking link, support me, book with me, because you never know what you'll get out of a one-on-one. I give a lot in my free content. It's always different and better when it's applied personally, because then you're not just assuming, you know, it's a real message for you. So guys, I'm gonna try my best to get into some things really quickly. I only have about an hour to do that. So a lot of times I just overthink my content, because like sometimes it can get complex. Like, you don't want to just sit down and just talk about anything and it doesn't make sense. I take this seriously because I don't know who could be watching this and who could be like verbatim taking what I say and like, okay, she said she heard this from spirit, so I'm gonna try to implement this. Like, there's people out there that really, they do that, guys. And if it's not you, okay, but it might be somebody else. So I never want to come on here and just say anything. We're at the end of November. November will be coming to a close very quickly. And okay, wow, I'm trying to record content and the bugs are going crazy. I'm gonna have to go get my little smoke thingies because the little bugs are attracted to the light and I just can't. I can't do it. So I just kind of wanted to drop off a few quick messages. I wanted to pull some cards, and so we're just gonna kind of see what we can get. I've been talking about how November is a really important month for retrogrades. November is a really important month for water signs, okay? And so astrology is a language that you use to translate into other things. That's all astrology is. At least that is how I learned it to be. So when we are dealing with all these water signs, right, we're going to be dealing with issues that come up in the body, meaning your physical, literal health, issues or concerns that come up in your relationships or lack of relationships. And then There's also going to be family issues that come up. And ultimately, all these things tie back to the heart. The heart space is what we're really focusing on ending the year, because that is what Spirit has told me is the number one place that's going to block us walking into 2026. Okay, if your heart is closed off, if your heart is blocked, and maybe you don't even know these things or these people or these situations are blocking your heart, but if that is the case, then you are going to go into 2026 out of alignment because you're not balanced in your heart space. Okay, and so I've been kind of channeling through writing and through little short videos like on TikTok, messages that some of us need to hear. As you guys know, we just had a Scorpio New Moon in all forms of astrology, and I love that because everybody can be on the same page. We can all consciously work towards the same effort, and we can really make a big shift together. So as we are kind of tiptoeing through the thick of Scorpio season, as we're inching toward December, what we should be doing is we should be allowing ourselves, giving ourselves the space to recognize and handle what's coming up in the heart space. I am a wellness student, okay? So not only am I constantly studying and engaging in spirituality, but I'm also learning about literal physical health issues. One of the most interesting things that I learned this year in school was that your health goes down to a cellular, molecular level, okay? And so if something is bothering you, if something is out of alignment with you, you're going to know it on the smallest, most detailed level possible. If you guys go back and watch my my video, It's Not Your Anxiety This Time, you know, that's kind of what I'm touching on. The smallest thing is going to let you know, yeah, this ain't it. You know, and it's really important right now that we're able to pick up on those cues and signals and those small details, because the smallest thing is going to either keep us in alignment or keep us out of alignment. They often say God is in the details, and I am a firm believer of that, because anytime I've been looking for confirmation, anytime I've been looking for clues along my path and journey, it's always been in the smallest little mundane things that you might just gloss over and not think anything about, right? And this is often how we also can tap into those subconscious powers that we all possess, is by paying attention to the smallest, most simplest things, because that is where the keys, that's where the clues, that's where the confirmation, that is where the alignment lies. Okay, going back to what I was saying about health, this is where if something affects you in your body, it's going to affect you all the way down to the cellular level. If something doesn't feel right with you, you're not just registering that from out of nowhere. So it's really important to just be able to truly listen to your body, because if your body is speaking, that means your ancestors are speaking. And if your ancestors are speaking, that means your higher self is speaking. And if your higher self is speaking, that also means source is also speaking. No matter the angle that you want to view these different things from, you need to understand that you're being spoken to from a very important place and for a reason. And if you just fall back into that trust, just really fall back into it, your life is gonna get so much easier. You're gonna be able to move with so much more ease and grace. I said this on Tumblr. I don't know about you guys, but this month November and even just this fall season has really been showing me that I just want easier things moving forward. Like, everything doesn't have to be hard as hell just to be like, oh, look what I did, look how much I went through, look how much we went through to get here. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't need a struggle award anymore. If you are a fellow Scorpio, especially in sidereal astrology, or even if you just have those placements, people who, even Aries placements, people who have a lot of Mars energy in their birth chart, sometimes, you know, we could be obsessed with the struggle, we could be obsessed with the grind of it all, and at a certain point you have to realize that you're literally choosing the struggle. You're choosing the hardest relationships, the hardest friendships possible, the hardest jobs possible. You're choosing things that require so much of you, and there's a different path, but you have to actually choose that path and see where it will get you and actually let it unfold. You know, let it cook a little bit, let it cook just a little bit. So guys, I may have to come back on here and unpack this some more, but I really do want to just try to get a tidbit of information and downloads out, because we are going through 3 simultaneous retrogrades, and this has been happening throughout the month of November. So not only do we have a focus on our body, our emotions, our energy, our relationships, and our heart space, we also are reconsidering and remapping and just kind of moving a lot of things around, whether that be literally or psychologically and spiritually. We're just kind of figuring some things out this month. And so if you've had mixed emotions or you've had things come up for you out of nowhere, just know that it's not out of nowhere. We're gonna be coming out of some really big retrogrades. Well, we're gonna be coming out of the biggest retrograde, Saturn and Pisces. Saturn retrograde in Pisces, I believe by December, let me see, November 27th, Saturn is going to be direct in Pisces. So that retrograde will be over before December. Also on November 29th, Mercury will be stationing direct in Scorpio. So we have 2 of those retrogrades ending before the end of the month. And then our Jupiter retrograde, which is in Cancer, but it'll be going back into Gemini in December. So December is like a whole nother ballpark that I can't wait to talk about, because December is going to be a challenging month for a lot of people, but we're not there yet. So we'll talk about it when we get there, because we have basically a month full of a series of squares. And if you go back into my old content, you can learn all about what squares are about and how they challenge us. And yeah, so what I was saying is that by the end of this month, we're gonna have 2 retrogrades ending. One major retrograde ending, Saturn and Pisces, going direct. Okay, so this is going to, just channeling a download real quick about that, this is really going to make a lot of emotions clear that maybe we were confused about. It's gonna really clear up some energy. It's gonna clear up confusion maybe around how you feel about certain things, people, places, and vice versa, how they feel about you. It's also going to give a lot of us confirmation. Okay, Spirit is talking about confirmation. So you're going to be getting confirmation by the end of this month or by the beginning of December. You're going to have confirmation about some things in your life. You're going to be feeling more secure emotionally, spiritually, energetically, in some things moving into 2026, and that's a great sign. And the same thing goes for that Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Okay, so what has really been coming up for me, you guys know that I'm a Saturn and Pisces baby. Okay, Saturn is like a generational type planet. Okay, so not everybody has the same, it's harder to get the same Saturn placement because Saturn moves so slow. Me and people that were born between, I believe, 96 and 98 have Saturn and Pisces. So all of us are going through our Saturn return. If you're interested in unpacking what that may look like or what they may mean for you, you can watch my content because we're going through this together. But you can also book a session with me. What beginning my Saturn return has really shown me, especially going through this retrograde period over the past maybe 5 or 6 months, it has really it's really challenged me to trust myself. It's challenged all of us to trust ourselves, but also it has kind of unearthed some of those deep dark desires, and it's required us to face those things, right? And I know, like, just being transparent, you know, something that I've gotten more and more comfortable with is being alone. That's kind of been my post-pandemic journey, is being comfortable being by myself. However, there does come a point where, you know, I have to be honest about the fact that there is some limitations to solitude, and being honest about that doesn't mean anything bad. It just means that, hey, I'm ready to open up to new people, right? And so that's like one of my personal deep dark desires that I've had to kind of figure out, how do I work through this? Because when you've learned to be by yourself, it can be really, really hard and actually a little bit unnerving to open back up to new people. I already have this one open. I'm just gonna go in with my Chalks of Kikongo deck. This is just to give us, like I said, we may revisit some of these topics. If you want to see some information about the new moon in Scorpio, you guys go take a look. Go follow me on TikTok, but also on Facebook. The Scorpio new moon was just asking people to really, it was either validating the cord cutting that you needed to do or that you already did, and it was asking a lot of people to stop being so strong. You know, not everything requires strength. Sometimes it is your vulnerability. Sometimes it is the softest part of you. Sometimes it is the weakest part of you that really has the power, because that is the divine feminine. That is the guide that's trying to show you that there's an easier way to get through your life and to live your life. And that's what I started this video speaking on, and that's what has been coming through in this fall season. Okay, so more on that message. We may talk a little bit more about Scorpio if you guys are interested in Scorpio, but let me just try to get a few cards before my battery dies, because baby, ain't nothing charged right out here. It's crazy. I can't believe I set up I can't believe I set this up and none of my stuff is together. So y'all just bear with me, okay? I'm just trying to do the best I can, okay? Multitasking. So look, let's get a message about these retrogrades, okay? So what is the Saturn and Mercury retrograde? What is the medicine that is offering us ending the month of November? Okay, we got 2 retrogrades ending. Card tried to pop out. Well, let's see. 2 retrogrades ending. All right. So we got 2 medicines, okay? Let's see. All right. So again, what is it offering? What's the medicine that the Mercury retrograde in Scorpio and Saturn retrograde ending right around Thanksgiving? What is it offering? Confirmation. I hope y'all can see that. Okay, this card says moving right, moving right, moving right. Okay, it's offering confirmation, and it says, I am talking to you. So right when I held this card up, Spirit is saying, listen to your intuition. Okay, if you're listening to your intuition, you are moving right. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of confirmation that is given to us coming out of the retrogrades and moving into December. Okay, so make sure you're, again, paying attention to those subtleties, those small details. That is what's going to give you that confirmation, as I stated earlier. Okay, let's see what else. I said, what is the medicine coming out of these retrogrades? The answer was confirmation, listening to your intuition, being able to trust yourself more. All right, so what is the biggest issue or the biggest block that was being cleared up by this Saturn retrograde? Okay, so it wants to talk about Saturn. Saturn's opening a road. Saturn in Pisces is opening a road. Okay, there is a different path, a unique path, a more purpose-filled, passion-filled path that is opening for us. Okay, so that's what that Saturn retrograde is doing. All right, but it requires self-trust. It requires self-trust, listening to your intuition. We have grounding as well. So what I'm getting about this Saturn retrograde is really coming back into your body, being centered in your emotions, not doubting yourself so much, not letting people gaslight you out of your body so freaking much. Like, if you say you feel a type of way, you're allowed to feel that and process that, and nobody can shake you out of what you're feeling. You're okay with feeling whatever you feel and getting through that on your own timing. Okay, so we're learning how to be more grounded in our body, in our emotions, to feel our feelings, and because of that, we're going to be able to ascend quicker, because we're not constantly doubting ourselves. We're not constantly having to figure out our bodies over and over again. You know, we're getting better at processing things, reading the room, and moving accordingly. Okay, so let's get into some more tea about the Mercury retrograde. Okay, what is the main issue? What is the main challenge? Oh, again, an open road, honey. An open road again came out for Mercury retrograde. Okay, in Scorpio. By the end of these retrogrades is gonna really clear some things out the way. Okay, and what I'm hearing is the word sacrifice. Okay, so some of us, yeah, it's gonna require a painful release, a hard look at reality, and saying, yeah, my hands are tied here, there's nothing I can do, and really truly letting go of some people, some connections, some hopes and wishes, because after a certain point, hopes and wishes become delusion when we can't just face the reality of the situation and move accordingly. Okay, so yeah, there's gonna be some sacrifice that you're gonna have to make in order to really open your heart, because the open road is going through your heart. All right, and I've said that before, so make sure you know the open road is flowing through the heart. All right, you ain't gonna have an open road if your heart is blocked up. But I guess I'm gonna close this message with these 3 cards. Okay, so closing message coming out of these retrogrades, ending the month of November. We have balance. Okay, we have leadership, and then there is infinite. Okay, so as you close out the month of November, yes, there's going to be confirmation given to you. Yes, there's going to be clarity given to you. Yes, there's going to be an open road presented to you if you're following your intuition, if you're in tune with your heart space, if you're trusting yourself. But even still, you're going to have to move with balance. Okay, balance is moderation. Balance is not going too far in any direction. Okay, leadership. Okay, what I'm hearing is you might have to do some things alone, and that's okay, because that's what leaders do. So don't be scared to do things by yourself. Don't be scared to be by yourself. Okay, and don't be scared to be the first. Don't be scared to be the first. Don't be scared to be the standout. Don't be scared to be different, okay? Because that just means that you are leading and you're not following, and you're not blending in, and you're not hiding. All right? That's not what Spirit wants for us. And then the final card that I have on this read is infinite, okay? So there are infinite blessings, infinite opportunities. There's more available to us than maybe we're always aware of. But we can't tap into that unless we start with the basics. And the basics is getting back in touch with your body, paying attention to those details, following your heart, removing toxic, dead weight and connections, removing one-sided, narcissistic connections, so that you can be weightless and free enough to move in the direction that Spirit is truly, truly leading you. Okay, so I hope to see you guys sooner than later, and I hope this video gave just enough to get you through the end of this month. Okay, so y'all take care. Bye.